Howdy, folks. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am your host, the Mighty Bjorn, and today for you, got a bit of a Dungeons Dragons tabletop RPG type video. This is something I want to discuss, and I want to kind of make it quick. And please just stay tuned until the end to get kind of a full understanding of where I go with this. But I see a lot of discussion online about who is the best dungeon master, who is the best game master, whatever. And I see Critical Role's Matt Mercer come up quite a bit in discussion, and I can see why. He is. I've looked into his content, and I'm not a huge fan of Critical Role, but he's a really good dungeon master. He's great, in fact. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to do it. Things of that nature. He's got a really good core understanding of gaming. He's definitely been at it for a while. But here's the thing, while he's really good, he's definitely not the best. Hear me out, folks. The best game master is you. The thing is people come to your table to play Dungeons Dragons, Cyberpunk, Star Wars D20, Star Wars D6, whatever tabletop RPG game it is that you're all playing. They come to your table to play with you, to hear, you know, essentially to hear your story. No matter if it's Dragonlance or if it's Forgotten Realms or if it's another story of your creation, people are there to hear your story. So just take time and tell your story. You are the narrator. You're the storyteller. You're the voice that carries the gaming. And you're the rules umpire, everything that you are as the game master that makes the game work, that makes it go, that brings the story to life. It's all on you at the end of the day, and that's what you as a game master should focus on. So just tell your story, whatever your story is when it comes to your tabletop RPG. And with that being said, also play to your strengths. Try and get a good understanding of what your strengths are, what you do well, and run with those. And even work on your weaknesses as a game master. So, first off, just a couple bits of advice is to pretty much know what type of story you want to tell and tell it. No matter if it's some kind of action packed hack and slash Diablo 2 isk story, or if it's just some, kind of a more political based story along the lines of Game of Thrones, or something low fantasy like Conan the Barbarian. Whatever story it is you want to tell that story and just focus on telling that story. Have a great understanding of the rules. That's a real good thing to have, because then when something comes up, because something always does come up, you can make that ruling very quickly, get it in, get it done, get it over with, and continue on with the gaming experience. Have some notes handy. If there's a rule that you constantly forget, jot it down. What book is it in? What page is it on? What rule is it? Put it on just a sheet of notepad, so that way you can go back and go, oh, this rule again. Okay, it's here in the Dungeon Master's Guide. And then you know right where to find it. Or maybe you have, maybe you need notes on what direction you wanted the story to go. Or maybe there's a character that you kind of designed, an NPC that you designed on the fly. Make notes of it, so that way you can easily go back to it later and you have it at your fingertips. And more or less, focus on having a good time. Don't necessarily worry about bogging down with the rules and playing the game is exactly how Wizards of the Coast or whoever game designer made the game you guys are playing at the time, go with the rule of cool sometimes. Instead of making people roll dice, just be like, yeah, sure. You know what? You want to pick that chest? Go ahead, pick it. Or if you want to jump that gap, you know what? Go ahead, jump that gap. If there's no if there's no real true danger involved, don't make your players roll for it. There's no point. Just keep the game going, keep the story going. And honestly, another thing I see a lot of people talk about too is voice acting. Listen, don't worry about voice acting. Don't get me wrong. Voice acting can enhance your game. But first off, not everyone's talented and knows how to really do voice acting. Matt Mercer actually has a background in voice acting. I sort of pseudo have a background in voice acting because I've made voice acting a part of my games over the years. But still, with that being said, it's not a primary thing. It's something I do to highlight a certain type of character, to try to set a certain type of mood, etc. So maybe the players are dealing with a baron that they're going to be talking to on a regular basis, and it's kind of a more mainstream, I don't know if I want to say mainstream, but main NPC. I'll throw in some voice acting to enhance the overall experience, but it's really not necessary. It's just something there to be a little helpful to enhance the experience. And with all this in mind, hopefully, over time, you will be able to sit down with your friends, have a good time, and tell a great epic story like The Lord of the Rings or The Game of Thrones. That's really all I got for you, folks. So, hopefully, you all enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for tuning in, and have yourself a wonderful day.